Ever imagine yourself, like, in a super busy port, coordinating those massive shipments
Yeah.
and making sure that all that cargo is just flowing smoothly across the globe?
Oh, yeah.
That's the life of a shipping agent.
Uh-huh.
And that's what we're talking about today. We're going to equip you to just nail that interview and land this, like, super exciting role.
It's definitely a dynamic field. It blends logistics, diplomacy, and you really have to understand international trade.
So we have some really great resources today from RoleCatcher. Have you heard of them? A
Yes.
platform built to give you an edge in your job search. And they have a career guide and an interview guide specifically for shipping agents.
Packed with insights.
Plus, we'll touch on how RoleCatcher's AI tools can actually help tailor your responses for specific roles that you're going for. So if you're ready to kind of dive into the world of shipping agents and, like, ace that interview, let's get started.
Let's do it.
First things first, what exactly does a shipping agent do?
Okay, well, it's more than just moving boxes around. You're the ship owner's representative, you're a problem solver, you negotiate, and you have to be a compliance expert. It's a lot.
It's a lot of hats to wear.
It is.
Well, RoleCatcher's career guide really paints a vivid picture. Imagine ensuring smooth customs clearance, managing licenses, handling insurance, and basically making sure every I is dotted and every T is crossed for those massive cargo ships.
It's a big responsibility. You're making sure that everything is done by the book and that those ships can sail without any issues.
Now let's get to the heart of this deep dive. Mastering those interview questions.
That's where it gets real.
Right. RoleCatcher's interview guide is really a gold mine here. Let's start with a classic interview question. What motivated you to pursue a career as a shipping agent? How do you make your answer stand out? Because I feel like everyone's going to say they love logistics.
Yeah, you have to go beyond just saying, I like logistics, or I like to travel. This is your chance to really showcase your genuine passion for the field. Think back to what truly sparked your interest. Was it a fascination with global trade, maybe? Or do you have a family connection to the maritime industry? Or was there like a travel experience that kind of opened your eyes to how complex shipping really is?
Ooh, I love that. A personal touch can make all the difference.
It really can.
And RoleCatcher suggests connecting your motivations to the company's values or mission statement.
Oh, that's smart.
It shows you've done your homework,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that you're genuinely interested in their specific role.
Absolutely. It's subtle, but it's a really effective way to signal that you're not just looking for any job. You're looking for this job. You're looking for them.
Okay, next up. How do you ensure that shipments are delivered on time and within budget? Now, this is where you get to shine a light on your organizational skills and proactive problem-solving abilities.
Okay, absolutely. This is your time to talk about planning, coordination, how you communicate with everyone who is involved, and your ability to just anticipate and address those little hiccups that can pop up.
Because there are always hiccups.
Oh, always. But don't just list off skills.
Right.
Illustrate them with a concrete example, a story.
So maybe you could talk about a time that you successfully navigated a complex shipment with multiple stakeholders and tight deadlines, and highlight what your role was and the key actions that you took to ensure everything went smoothly.
Exactly. It shows you can walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And be prepared for a potential follow-up question, too, like, can you tell me about a time a shipment was delayed? Or, how did you handle it?
Ooh, that's a great point.
Yeah, they want to see how you handle pressure and unexpected challenges.
So did you reroute the shipment or negotiate new terms or find, like, creative solutions to minimize the impact of the delay, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's exactly it. This is where you showcase your flexibility and problem-solving skills in action. You've got to be ready to think on your feet.
Now let's talk about a question that's bound to come up. Can you share an example of a difficult shipping situation you have experienced and how you resolved it? Everyone loves a good story, right?
Oh, for sure.
But what's the key to nailing this one?
Well, you want to choose a situation that truly highlights your strengths. Did you have to, like, negotiate with a difficult supplier? Or resolve a customs issue? Or maybe even handle a last-minute change in shipping plans? Those are all good ones. The key is to focus on the process. How did you analyze the problem, gather all the right information, and then take decisive action?
So it's not about, like, boasting about a heroic save.
No.
It's about demonstrating a structured and analytical approach to problem solving.
Exactly.
And of course, the positive outcome is, like, the cherry on top.
Of course.
What about a situation where things might not have gone perfectly? Would you recommend sharing that?
Absolutely. Everyone makes mistakes. I mean, I've made plenty. What's important is showing that you learn from the experience. Maybe you encountered an unexpected customs regulation, or there was a documentation error. Share what you learned and how you adjusted your approach to prevent similar issues from happening again.
That's great advice. It shows self-awareness and a commitment to continuous improvement. Now, let's switch gears to a question that focuses on interpersonal skills. How do you handle disputes with customers or carriers? This can be tricky, right?
It can be, but it's also a great opportunity to demonstrate your diplomacy and communication skills. You want to explain how you approach these situations with a focus on active listening and understanding everyone's perspective. Put yourself in their shoes, emphasize your ability to find common ground, negotiate fairly, and maintain those really crucial relationships that you've built.
Because relationships are everything.
Oh, they really are, especially in this industry. And if you have a specific example where you successfully mediated a dispute, maybe you calmed down an irate customer, found a compromise with a demanding carrier, that's gold.
I bet. Okay, here's a question that probes your commitment to staying current. How do you stay up to date with changes in shipping regulations and industry standards?
Ah, yes. It's a constantly evolving field, so you need to show them that you're on top of the latest developments.
Right.
So you can mention industry publications like the Journal of Commerce, Lloyd's List, or you can talk about joining professional organizations like the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers and participating in relevant online forums. It shows that you're actively engaged and you want to keep learning.
But don't just name drop these resources, right?
Right, you've got to explain how you apply what you've learned.
So did you implement a new procedure based on a recent regulatory change? Or did you share like a best practice with your team after attending a conference? Show that you're not just absorbing information passively, but you're actively using it to make a positive impact.
Exactly. That's what sets you apart from those candidates who are just, skimming the headlines or not really digging deep.
Now, let's say you're feeling a bit overwhelmed by all these questions and potential follow-ups.
Yeah, it can be a lot.
That's where RoleCatcher's AI tools come in.
Okay, tell me more about these tools. How can they help?
So RoleCatcher's AI doesn't just offer generic advice. It actually analyzes the specific job description you're targeting.
Wow.
And it identifies the most relevant skills, keywords, and potential questions for that particular role.
So it's like having a personal interview coach, but tailored to the exact position you're applying for.
Precisely. And their CV resume builder uses AI to optimize your application, ensuring it highlights the most relevant experience and keywords. And their interview practice feature lets you record video rehearsals, and then you get AI feedback on your delivery, content, and even your body language.
That's incredible. It takes all the guesswork out of preparation.
Totally.
And it gives you those personalized insights to really shine during your interview.
Yeah. Like I said, it's like having a secret weapon.
Totally. Okay, so we've got the AI tools to help us practice, and we know the tough questions they're going to ask. What else? What other kinds of questions are common in a shipping agent interview?
Well, let's dive into another question that often comes up, okay? Can you walk me through the process of preparing shipping documents? This one really tests your attention to detail and knowledge of the ins and outs of international shipping.
Right, you have to know those documents like the back of your hand.
Exactly.
So you want to show that you understand the various documents involved. Things like bills of lading, commercial invoices, packing lists, certificates of origin, and insurance certificates. Don't just list them off, though. You want to explain the purpose of each one and how you ensure accuracy and compliance in their preparation.
Right, because a tiny error on those documents can cause huge problems.
Oh, absolutely. Huge delays, fines, you name it. So attention to detail is key here. And you know what else can be a good thing to mention? Your experience with specific software programs or online platforms for managing shipping documentation. It shows that you're tech-savvy and efficient.
That's a great point. Be ready for a potential follow-up question, too. What steps do you take to ensure all required documentation is accurate and complete? This is where you highlight your meticulous approach and commitment to avoiding those costly errors.
It's all about minimizing risk and ensuring those shipments sail through customs without a hitch. You don't want any surprises.
Okay, let's talk about a question that's all about juggling multiple priorities. How do you manage multiple shipments simultaneously? Being organized and efficient is key here for sure.
Definitely. In this role, you'll always have a lot on your plate. So you want to describe your system for tracking shipments, prioritizing tasks, and communicating with everyone involved. Do you use project management software, color-coded spreadsheets, or just a trusty old-fashioned to-do list?
I love a good to-do list.
Me too. Whatever works for you, explain how you keep everything moving smoothly. And don't forget to highlight your ability to adapt to changing circumstances, because you know things are going to change.
Oh, yeah.
And handle those inevitable curveballs that come with the territory. Like maybe you had to reprioritize shipments because of a port congestion issue. Or maybe you had to find a last-minute replacement for a delayed carrier.
Well, that's a good one.
Right. Share how you stayed calm, assessed the situation, and found solutions. It shows you can think on your feet and you don't crumble under pressure.
Now, let's shift to a question that assesses your communication skills. Because being a shipping agent is all about communication. How do you ensure that all parties involved in a shipment are kept informed of its progress and status?
Transparency and clear communication are crucial in this role. You're the link between the ship owners, carriers, the port authorities, the customs officials, sometimes even the end customer. So it's a lot of people to keep in the loop.
Yeah, you're kind of like the central hub.
You are. You're the hub of information.
So it's all about using the right communication channels, right? Email, phone calls, those online tracking systems, and tailoring your message to the specific audience you're talking to.
Exactly. You want to highlight your ability to provide timely and accurate updates, address concerns proactively, and just make sure everyone's on the same page.
Now let's talk about a question that delves into your decision-making process.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision regarding a shipment? This is a chance to show you can think critically, weigh different options, and then act decisively.
Right. You don't want to hesitate. You want to be confident in your decisions.
Definitely. So what would be a good example?
Choose an example that demonstrates your good judgment and problem-solving skills. Perhaps you had to choose between two shipping routes, one that was faster but more expensive, or maybe the other was more economical, but there was a slightly higher risk of delay. Yeah. Walk the interviewer through your thought process. Explain how you gathered information, how you assessed the risks and benefits of each option, and how you ultimately made the best decision for the situation. Did you consult with others? Did you refer to company policies? Or did you draw on your past experience?
That's almost like you want to be able to teach them how to make that same decision, right?
Exactly. You want to be thorough, but also clear and concise.
Right. And then the key is to show that you have a structured approach and you're willing to take ownership of the decisions that you make. Because that's huge. No one wants to hire someone who can't make decisions, right?
Oh, definitely not. Especially in this role where things can change quickly. Now, while we're on the topic of challenging situations, let's talk about another question that can trip people up.
Okay.
How do you handle pressure and stress in this fast-paced environment?
Ooh, I bet that's a common one.
Oh, it is. It's a very demanding role, so interviewers want to know you can handle the heat. They want to know that you can stay calm when things get crazy.
Right, so you just need to be honest about how you manage stress.
Exactly. Be authentic.
Do you prioritize your tasks? Do you delegate effectively? Do you take breaks when you need them? Or do you have a go-to stress relief technique? You know, like a 5-minute meditation or something.
Ooh, I like that idea. Whatever works for you, share it with them. And just emphasize your ability to stay focused, calm, and productive, even when things get hectic.
Okay, so before we move on to the next set of questions, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's AI tools for a moment. How can these tools specifically help you with these types of questions that focus on decision-making, problem-solving, and handling pressure?
RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful in refining your answers to these behavioral interview questions.
Okay, good.
Like, for example, let's say you're practicing your response to the question about handling a difficult shipping decision. Their AI can analyze your answer and offer suggestions for improvement. Yes. Maybe it suggests highlighting certain details. Or maybe you need to quantify the impact of your decision. Or even just rephrasing your response to emphasize key skills.
That's amazing.
It is.
Okay, so we're getting good at these behavioral questions, like, tell me about a time when...
Yeah, you're getting it.
Let's continue our exploration of these common shipping agent interview questions. This next one focuses on compliance. How do you ensure compliance with customs regulations? This is a big one, right?
Absolutely. Shipping agents play a critical role in making sure those goods are transported legally and efficiently across international borders. So you have to know the rules. But it's not enough to just know the rules. You have to demonstrate a proactive approach to staying informed, and then you have to implement procedures and minimize risks. It's a lot.
So you might be asked about specific steps that you take to verify documentation, or classify goods correctly using the harmonized system, or calculate those duties and taxes.
Yeah, all of that.
Right. And for anyone listening who doesn't know, the harmonized system is this internationally standardized system of names and numbers for classifying traded products.
Yeah.
It's essential for ensuring that goods are categorized consistently and that the correct tariffs are applied.
It's a big deal. And mentioning any relevant training or certifications that you have in customs regulations can also strengthen your answer. It shows you're serious about compliance.
And don't forget about security measures, too.
Oh, right. Like compliance with programs like the Customs Trade Partnership Against Terrorism. That's a mouthful. It's usually just called CTPAC.
CT Guide, right.
Yeah, it's a voluntary program, but it really encourages businesses to enhance their supply chain security and work with U.S. Customs and Border Protection to reduce the risk of terrorism.
So if you had experience implementing those CTPAT security measures, like ensuring that containers are sealed properly, or verifying supplier credentials, or conducting security audits, definitely highlight that. It shows you understand the importance of security in the global supply chain.
Security is a top priority these days.
Absolutely. Now let's switch gears and talk about a question that explores your knowledge of the bigger picture. What are some of the current challenges facing the shipping industry? This is where you demonstrate your awareness of industry trends and your ability to think critically about the factors that impact global trade.
You need to stay informed and stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, so what are some of those challenges?
Well, there's a lot.
Right.
Port congestion is a big one, rising fuel costs, of course, and we can't forget geopolitical instability. And then there's the increasing pressure to reduce the environmental impact of shipping.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Don't just state the challenges. Offer some insights into potential solutions or strategies for mitigating those challenges.
Okay, that makes sense. So maybe you've read about innovative technologies that improve logistics efficiency, or new regulations aimed at reducing emissions.
Exactly. Show that you're engaged with the industry and thinking critically about the future of shipping.
Now, I want to talk about a question that often trips people up.
Uh-huh.
What is your greatest weakness?
Oh, I hate that question.
I know. It's a classic interview question, though. It's designed to assess your self-awareness and your ability to turn a potential negative into a positive.
So how do you answer it without sounding, phony?
Well, the key is to choose a weakness that isn't directly related to the core competencies of the job,
Right.
and then explain how you're actively working to improve in that area.
I see. So, like, for example, maybe you're not naturally a public speaker, but you've been taking a course or joining Toastmasters to improve your communication skills.
Exactly.
Or maybe you tend to get bogged down in the details, but you're working on delegating tasks more effectively and focusing on the bigger picture.
Right. You're showing them that you're aware of your weaknesses and you're not afraid to work on them.
You're showing them that you're always trying to learn and grow.
Now, let's touch on a question that assesses your understanding of the financial side of shipping. How do you ensure that shipments are cost-effective?
Ah, yes. Money matters.
It does. This question requires you to think about negotiating competitive freight rates, optimizing routes and cargo space, minimizing unnecessary expenses.
Right, you've got to be smart about it.
Yeah, so maybe you've researched different shipping carriers, explored consolidation options, or implemented a system for tracking and reducing demurrage charges.
Demurrage charges can be a real headache.
I bet they can. Share examples of how you've contributed to cost savings in the past, and just demonstrate your understanding of the financial considerations involved in international shipping.
It shows them that you're thinking about the bottom line.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's circle back to RoleCatcher and their AI-powered tools. How can these tools help us with these more nuanced questions about industry challenges, personal weaknesses, and cost-effectiveness?
RoleCatcher can be incredibly helpful in tailoring your answers to these questions. Like, for instance, their AI can analyze your practice responses, and then it'll offer suggestions for improvement, ensuring that your answers are clear, concise, and highlight your relevant skills and experience.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of tough questions, right?
We have.
And we've explored some career insights from RoleCatcher, and we even uncovered the power of their AI tools to help prepare us for those tough questions. But there are a few more things to cover, like what kind of questions we should be asking them, the interviewer, and what does a typical career path look like for a shipping agent. So stick around for the next part of our deep dive into the world of shipping agents.
It's going to be good. Okay, so we've covered a lot of the tough questions that they might ask you.
Right. But what about the questions we should be asking them?
Oh, yeah, good point. Remember, an interview is a two-way street. It's a chance for you to assess whether the company and the role are a good fit for you.
Right. Because it's not just about them liking us. We have to like them too.
Exactly. It's also a great opportunity to show that you're engaged and curious. It shows that you've been thinking about this. It's not just a random job application.
Okay, so what kind of questions should we be asking?
Well, you can ask about the company's culture. You can ask about their approach to professional development. Or you can even ask about specific challenges and opportunities within the role. Like, what are some of the biggest challenges that someone in this role might face? Or what are some of the opportunities for growth and advancement?
I like that.
Yeah, you can even ask about their views on industry trends, or maybe their company's sustainability initiatives, if that's something that's important to you.
Right. That's a good way to see if your values align with theirs.
Exactly. Asking those kinds of insightful questions, it not only gives you valuable information, but it also leaves a lasting impression.
It shows you're not just looking for any job. You're looking for the right job. And you want to make sure they're the right fit for you, too.
Exactly. Okay, so before we jump into career paths and stuff, is there anything else about the interview that we should cover?
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this deep dive into the world of shipping agent interviews, I wanted to touch on a few final points from RoleCatcher's Career Guide. It emphasizes the importance of continuous learning in this ever-evolving industry.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Staying ahead of the curve is so key because things are constantly changing. New technologies, new regulations. It's a lot to keep up with.
Definitely.
So how can you stay on top of everything?
Well, you can subscribe to industry publications like the Journal of Commerce or Lloyd's List. You can join professional organizations, attend conferences, webinars, and you can even pursue relevant certifications.
Those are all great ideas. It shows that you're committed to your professional development.
Exactly.
And you know what else is a great way to stand out?
What's that?
Building a professional portfolio. You can showcase your experience and your knowledge of the field.
Okay, I like that. Because then it's not just words on your resume, it's like proof of your expertise.
Exactly. It's a tangible representation of all that you've learned and accomplished.
So what would that look like?
Well, it could include successful projects that you've managed, challenging situations that you've resolved, maybe even articles or presentations that you've contributed to.
I see.
Yeah, anything that really demonstrates your knowledge and your skills. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the interview,
Yeah, like a lot.
but what about after the interview? Like, what can someone expect if they land the job? What does a typical career path look like for a shipping agent?
Yeah, what does that look like? Where can this job take you? Because that's exciting to think about, too.
It is exciting. Okay, so according to RoleCatcher's Career Guide, there are a lot of different paths you can take. Like, you could start out as an entry-level operations assistant, or maybe a documentation specialist. And from there, you could move into roles with more responsibility, like a cargo coordinator or a port operations supervisor.
That sounds cool. So you could actually work your way up to, like, managing an entire port.
Exactly. You could even specialize in a certain area of shipping, like tanker operations or container shipping, or maybe even cruise ship logistics.
Cruise ships, that sounds fun.
It does, doesn't it? And if you're really ambitious, you could even work your way up to a management position at a global shipping company.
Wow, so there's a lot of room for growth in this field.
Oh, absolutely. It's a global industry, and there are always opportunities for those who are willing to work hard, learn new things, and take on new challenges. So if you're looking for a career with lots of potential, this could be it.
That's exciting. So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We've tackled those tough interview questions, explored career paths, and even uncovered the power of RoleCatcher's AI tools to help you prepare.
Yeah, RoleCatcher seems like a pretty amazing resource.
Yeah.
But before we completely wrap up, I think we should highlight something that's really important for this job. Professionalism.
Oh, good point. Professionalism is crucial in the shipping industry. It's a fast-paced, demanding environment, and you're constantly interacting with people from all over the world.
Right, so first impressions matter.
Yeah.
Not just in the interview.
Absolutely. So how can you demonstrate professionalism? Well, it starts with being punctual and reliable. Always be on time for meetings and appointments. And if something unexpected comes up, communicate it clearly and promptly.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Well, You also want to be respectful and courteous in all your interactions. Whether you're dealing with clients, colleagues, or even customs officials, remember, you're representing your company and the shipping industry as a whole.
It's all about building those relationships, right?
Exactly. And it's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. Maintain a positive and professional demeanor, even when things get stressful, which they will.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And pay attention to your appearance, dress appropriately for the occasion, and make sure you're well-groomed and presentable, because you never know who you're going to meet or what opportunities might arise.
That's great advice. So remember, professionalism isn't just about looking the part. It's about being reliable, respectful, and maintaining a positive attitude, even in challenging situations.
It's about representing yourself and your company in the best possible light, and it can make all the difference in your career success.
So to recap, we've unpacked the core responsibilities of a shipping agent, explored potential career paths, tackled those common interview questions, and even dipped our toes into the power of RoleCatcher's AI.
And we emphasize the importance of professionalism.
Yes, we did. Now, as you embark on this career path, I want to leave you with a final thought. The world of shipping is constantly evolving, with new technologies and global trends reshaping the industry. What innovations do you think will shape the future of maritime logistics? Think about that. Remember, thorough preparation is your key to success. By understanding the role, crafting compelling answers, and leveraging tools like RoleCatcher, you can confidently navigate your shipping agent interview and set sail for a fulfilling career.
Good luck out there.
Okay, so we've talked about professionalism, we've talked about some career paths, but before we wrap up this deep dive, is there anything else from those RoleCatcher resources? Anything that we missed?
Oh, you know what? There is one more thing that I think is worth mentioning. It's about networking.
Networking, okay.
Yeah, networking is so important in any industry, but it's especially crucial in the shipping world. Building strong relationships with people in the industry can really open doors for you.
So how do you network effectively? Like, where do you even start?
Well, start by reaching out to people you already know, like former classmates, professors, or colleagues, anyone who might have connections in the shipping industry.
I see. So just start with your existing network.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to attend industry events like conferences, trade shows, webinars. Those are all great places to meet people and learn about new developments in the field.
Right, and I bet you could even reach out to people on LinkedIn.
Oh, definitely. LinkedIn is a great resource for connecting with professionals in the shipping industry. Join some relevant groups, participate in discussions, and don't be shy about reaching out to people who work at companies you're interested in.
That's a good idea. But it can feel kind of awkward, like reaching out to strangers, you know?
I know, it can be a little intimidating. But just remember, most people are happy to help others who are genuinely interested in their field.
Okay, that makes sense. So networking, it's not just about handing out business cards. It's about building genuine relationships.
Exactly. And those relationships can pay off in so many ways. Like you might hear about a job opening before it's even posted online, or you might get an insider tip about a company's culture.
Or maybe you just meet someone who inspires you and becomes a mentor.
Exactly. Networking can open up so many possibilities. So don't underestimate the power of building those connections.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot today. The interview, those tough questions, the career path, professionalism, and even networking.
Whew, we covered a lot of ground.
We did. So to recap, we've unpacked the core responsibilities of a shipping agent, explored potential career paths, tackled those common interview questions, and even dipped our toes into the power of RoleCatcher's AI. We even touched on the importance of professionalism and networking.
And remember, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way.
They seem like a great resource. Now, as you embark on this career path, I want to leave you with this final thought. The world of shipping is constantly evolving, with new technologies and global trends that are reshaping the industry every day. So what innovations do you think will shape the future of maritime logistics? Think about that. Remember, thorough preparation is your key to success. By understanding the role, crafting those compelling answers, and leveraging tools like RoleCatcher, you can confidently navigate your shipping agent interview and hopefully set sail for a fulfilling career in this exciting and ever-changing industry.
Bon voyage!
That's a wrap.